Hello, everyone. So finally, the model editor version 2 is out there. And here's a video to show you how to get started, compare version 1 with version 2. Usually people open up with like, I'm delighted, excited. I'm relieved. It's finally out there and works. So um, if you open, even you download the latest version, open the model editor, you will see this by default. Still, it's a soft release. We don't force anyone to leave yet. But you can come here, click, and then you see this thing switch to model editor V2. So we call the new one V2 for now, and this one is model editor classic. Of course, once we fully switch, this will be nothing, and then V2 will be the model editor. But naming is important, right? So you just close this once you do that, and then click again, open it, and this time it should show the new version of the model editor, aka V2. So the first time you do this, you might need to refresh a couple of times, maybe a few times more than a couple, depending on your internet speed for everything, for it gets downloaded and cache gets replaced and all that. We have done some optimization, but still it depends on your internet speed. So you will end up here. One of the first thing is like you can do annotations in the new version. Not that it's really the most important thing, but you know what? Let me just show you. I can use it for something like this. Here you go. So this is an image basically. So everything that we had in V1 here, right? We also have in V2 somewhere. What I'm going to try to do is like to kind of like go through these stuff and then do some editing. The commands are the same. Some of the commands have new options in V2, and the implementation overall made the whole model editor faster. But everything that we have, except for one single command, this one has been already transferred to V2. Okay, so don't worry about that. So let's get started. The menu that used to be down here is now here. It's just we simplified, and we had the snapshot editor like manager. We just simplified that. You can find the files that you opened here. You can switch back to model editor classic if you want to. Don't do it. If you want to do it, if you see like there is something you can't figure out and you want to switch it, let us know because that's important because we should know that and fix that for you before we, just um, end the classic. So let us know, but you have the option for now. Then things are very easier, like standard, you open, save as, everything is here for viewer and, frame per second. Some of this you may not see because they're for developers, but like you should see the license manager here. And there's an advanced option for hard reset that hopefully you don't need to use. We have a list of shortcuts. Oh, shortcuts. Shortcuts are much, much better in V2. And I'm going to use some of them in this video. It just makes things much faster. For commands, we don't have shortcuts, but we have an idea of like we will do something in the future. And then you have this famous about thing that gives you the sample models and links. So let me just open this sample model. Um, so one thing that has changed in the older version, when you open something, it asks you, do you want to open it? In V2, it asks you, do you want to save the one that you currently have, which what it should have been. So I have nothing here, so no, thank you. Let's just open this. Let me close this and get it started. So the commands are the same again, as I said. You select them, they show up. The UI is a little bit different. Uh, all the settings that we had up here are now down here, so they're more accessible. For example, if you want to turn off this helper, right, you can just do it here, settings, and remove this. So it gets easier. Oh, one thing that people ask for. So you know how this thing moves around depending on what you select. And I love it personally, but the feedback was like a lot of people, what is this thing? And like it can get crazy. Like if you have something like this and then you zoom in and you select everything, not a good example, but like goes around and you have to move around. There is an option here in settings now that you can remove this floating toolbar and then it will just be always there, like wherever you go and whatever you select. So if you like that, that's the option. It's not for me, you can use it. And thank you for the feedback, people who told us, because it was one of those things I would have never thought about. So that's that. The commands are the same, right? The levels are now way easier to deal with. They're all up here. Why is it important? Because you remember in the past, if you wanted to go to level one and then turn off the roofs, you had to click like 10 clicks. Now, one is you can use the short keys here. So you can do Alt 1, which is the first one, Alt and 2, second, Alt and 3, third level. So it goes level by level. And then if you want to just basically isolate the level, if you want to go back, you press the same for the one that you're on. So this case I was on the third level, so I do Alt 3, and then Alt 3 brings everything back. If you like graphics, you can do it from here. So I can isolate this level, I can isolate this level. So I can quickly move between the levels. And then if I want to turn off the roof or rooms, I can just quickly do it here, right? You can see, I mean, that's not a good example. Let's isolate here and watch this roof. I just turn the roofs off. I can turn the rooms off. So I can switch between them quickly, and then I can turn that off. So this is one of my favorite features because I can quickly go between the levels after I clean up something. In the past, it was really hard. Speaking of favorite features, the other thing is in the past, if you would have select a bunch of rooms and you wanted to change the attributes, you had the table and you had to go through the table. So now all of those are here. We have three tabs, which is Control 1 is for rooms, right? Let me move this, make it a little bit larger. Then you have this for roofs, and then you have this for shades that shows all the attributes. So the UI is a bit like more modern, but there is an option here to make it like the similar to what we had in the past. I personally use this a lot. But if you like this floating UI, that's also an option. So it goes here. Why is it important? So now if you want to add, ceiling plenums, you don't have to deal with this table thing and, try and go find them and then go find the column and change that. And sometimes you do Control A and it just messes up everything. So one, yes, you can switch. Again, I understand people don't like change, right? So if you think this is better, just select that table view, just so you know there is an option here to only show selection. That's helpful sometimes, right? If you want to select one room so you don't have to search for it for all the rooms, uh, you can use this. But my suggestion, this is great to find something. So if you're finding a room, you come here, you use this filter thing, like, and you go, I don't know, you want to find room 102. Then you can quickly select it here and find it. So that's hard to do in the other UI. But for changing the attributes, I would suggest to stay there. And then like, I can change this into 3 feet. Done. It's there. I can see it. The color rooms things is now here. So if you want to check, ceiling plenum depths, is like you can just run it here. So this thing has moved here, down here. Now you can select things, right? You can just change the properties like top expose, all those stuff that was really hard to do in the past. They're much faster, much easier. Again, as I said, the commands stay the same, so I can just do a quick, maybe before that, I'll just go and remove holes. Mm, just do something larger. So, okay, let's get this thing done. And then right now you have the same floor area change things here, right? So this stays the same, commands stay the same. This selection is here, much easier. We have more information, windows, doors, and all that. But here is something that's even better, and that's this PDF report. So one of the things that, let me just do let's just for this level put the rooms in. So we had this cleanup here that you could have used to see, like area change and all that. And because I now added this, like this, just the scale is very different. But it was okay. But then we heard a lot for two reasons. One was like people, okay, when I clean it up, can I review all the areas and everything? And yes, you can. You can do it in table mode and all that. But what if you have a PDF report? So now we have PDF report down here. It's under table, uh, the rooms. It's not table anymore. The rooms, I don't know what should I call it. The rooms panel. Uh, you have this. It takes a little bit of time to generate, but it is very useful. So let it be done. One of the things that I have been doing now is like when I clean up a model and review it, I basically send people with the I send the POMF, but I also send this report, and it's only generated for whatever is visible, right? Because I only have entry level. That's the only one that's in the report. Otherwise, you get everything. So what is interesting about this is, well, for every single room, you get a full report of, all the areas of like every phase, everything that you have. This is good for, checking areas and all those. I think I said in the other video too, like, yes, there will be an Excel CSV version of this to check too. But here's my new favorite things that we have added. So now you get the floor area change for every single space and you see what it used to be, right? The gray one is what it used to be. The blue one is the new one. So you can see this is 440 now. It used to be 424. And this is the change is like about 3.7%. And you can see why exactly it has changed. There were columns, this thing was going down. So this thing has moved and being like, now vertical. So now we will have another report that we call like area change report that basically reports, for every story, like which rooms have changed the most and everything. But this is a starting point. This is very helpful to quickly check, your model, especially if there are spaces that you are concerned that what has changed, what it used to be. You can quickly generate the report and you can see what has changed. So that's the report. And again, like this is also something that everyone can open. You can send it to your, manager or some project manager to review it quickly. And, they don't need to open this or open it in a different software. You just check the PDF and everyone is happy. You can also use it for documentation. So this menu here on the side, now you know how to change to table view, the filters. Um, One important thing that we have added is these ones here, uh, which is the ability to isolate stuff. And like if you have used with any CAD software, you probably know that when you have like a model with so many things, and particularly if you have large models, there are three buildings in one building or in one Revit model, and you want to work on a bunch of them, like you can just select and isolate, and you can see using Control Shift and I is the short key. Let me just turn off this color by stuff here. So now you can just isolate this, do whatever you want to do, right? There is a useful number here that says like 280, 208 objects are hidden, right? Oh, I don't believe I didn't do a preview, so it's going to take a little bit so far in this video. Yeah, so you can do all this, like if you want to change, simplify windows, all those stuff, you can totally do that. And once you're done, you can do Control Shift and H, or you can click on this, which is basically unhides that. You can do unhide in multiple levels. So if I do it again now, it shows everything, right? Because I was in only first level, which is Alt and 1 again. So that's that. Um, you can do unhide, isolate, hide, nice stuff. Now you can do zoom to feed and zoom to selection. Now we have so shift and 1 and shift and 2. That also find very handy. But one great improvement is our validation routine. So let me go to the third level and show you how validation works right now. So now if you run validation, I'll just run the generate one. In the past, if you had something like this, invalid window parameters, best of like finding which window was the problem, right? So you had to select thing and you had to visualize it, you had to zoom in. Now you can see them. They basically get highlighted for you. Now this is like a skylight, which is not the best thing. You could see them quickly, but like let me just create some other validation errors, like something. and this one goes here, right? And now if I rerun this again, I have this, so now I can click, and then you see it just shows, it selects the rooms and then it shows them. And now with the isolate, you can do Control Shift and I, quickly sit, fix it. And my favorite thing, now you can select this. You don't have to run the validation for everything again. You can just run this and you just revalidate the selection. Done, right? So that thing is gone. Now I can go to my next validation. Control Shift and H to show everything. So this one can be selected. Then I can select, I can fix it and go to the next one and to the next one. So that's, I think, is great. It just has helped. The self-intersecting rooms, that was a headache to find, like, where does it self-intersect for complex geometry. So that's not much easier. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is great. Can I have a PDF report? Yes, you can. So this also has a PDF report. And you should think about the PDF reports as still in work in progress. Why? Let me see. Good that I said that. Uh, so come on. Didn't work, but we'll fix that. But if it would have worked, let me just select one. Just maybe it was new features, new box. It didn't. Okay, I gave up. But if it would have worked, you had like a very nice report that basically goes through every validation error. There's documentation. What I have found useful is that, like, you want to get a sense of the model. What are the things that are wrong when you start? It's very helpful to just go through this report and just, oh, this is why I'm getting all these validation reports for the windows, for example, because, in Revit, I didn't spend enough time to select the materials correctly and all that. Yeah, you do that for validation. So yeah, I know the report didn't work, but hopefully the rest of the stuff, the selection, the partial rerunning the validation, all those stuff are good enough. And we will fix you see, like I just said, we will fix the report quickly now that I have a model to recreate. Hopefully I didn't fix it. I can still recreate the error, but we'll see. As that is working, okay, so the error was with that skylight. Let me just show it to you then. So this is the report. It says like we ran it for generic. It tells you like this, what does it mean? It's not implemented. But now you can see exactly, right? It just highlights it so I can quickly see what the error is and where it happens. For some of the errors, like the overlapping windows and all that, it's a 3D. So you can see it in 3D without the need to do the 3D in the model editor. Last but not least, now every export has a checklist. So, depending on where you export, we just have a checklist for you that make sure you are following the best practice. I guess this will be like you check it like a few times and then you just remember it. I don't know. I think it's helpful when you're in a rush. And this is something that several uh, of you asked for. So we just added, for example, like, you might forget to snap the grid. I think Corey asked for that on the forum, right? Now, if you do it, it's on you. And then if you have forgotten it, you can just run it from here, right? You don't have to go. And it just does it to all the visible objects, just so you know. So, just like, oh, I forgot that clad. So right before going there, you can just do that. And it runs the command. So you can say, okay, I have done this, oh, I have validated it. Did I? No, oh, I forgot it. And so, like, let's just run the validation. We should sync this with that. I have said that in the past too. We will. But now you see like how the process is improved. So in summary, this is way much faster. Just like that one you don't see in this model, but for larger models that you couldn't even open, now you can open it here. The reason it's much faster is in the past, if you would have made a change to this, it had to go and kind of reset the whole model. Right now, it only make the changes to these two rooms, and that's why it's much faster. And as the model gets larger, you will see the difference. Then we have much better menus. I think this attribute menu is great, like makes things faster. This going between different levels and make selections much easier is much better and faster. Oh, we have better styling here. We expose the whole styling here. Please, please do not misuse this. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you want, you know, like uh, you can go Alt and 1 and then select this and make it like this. I know that because I just said it, I'm gonna get some memes of how people use it, but just enjoy. So for example, now I just changed the color of all the shades to orange. You know, I could have liked the standard way that we had it, but I lost the battle here to keep it not exposing this. So now you can kind of see like, you know, level 1 versus level 2 in nice colors. So yeah, we have styling here. Then the you have the all this visibility things here that are nice, and you have all the validation stuff here and validation routine, which is much better. You know, the export has this uh, like items. Oh, we have exposed the scripting here. There's more to be done here, but now like a scripting is kind of like a first level citizen. In the past, it was just hidden up there and was experimental. So now we know it works. It has been very useful. And I didn't talk about these things down here, but the logs are much easier to see. For some reason, it's not working. Okay, it did. So the logs are much easier and faster to see. I think I have a setting for debugging on that I forgot to. Yeah, that's why it's very heavy. Then the grid is down here for changing. It's much faster and easier. There is a shortcut like shifting G to show and hide it. So that's also nice. All the highlights are now documented here, and when you run them, you can see what they mean. So it's not cryptic of like, what is this thing that's showing me? I should watch a tutorial. Now you don't have to, right? You just can read it like it's just non-orthogonal walls are dark blue, and we have the settings, everything exposed here. Um, Still very much in, it's very stable, but still in development, right? Like PDF reports or something. We will add more like Excel stuff to the reports. So yeah, let us know what you guys want and need. We already have a list of things that people have already asked for, like, you know, being able to load the Python script. So those are the things that we will add. But then after that, geometry is kind of figured out. We have Revit plugin version 3 is coming out. If you haven't watched the video, go and find it, search for it, Pollination, Revit plugin version 3 preview. You should be able to see it. The one for this month, September. And we will slowly get into more than geometry, like automate adding program types, you know, all those things that we can do. And we have talked about for months now, but I feel now that this is out and it's a very decent place, it's about like it's about time to go back and just add those stuff and still and slowly build up our way to introducing simulation again as part of the model editor, but it will be different from what we did last time. I'll talk about that later. Like this video is already on 23 minutes. Yep. Thanks for watching. Thank you for being patient with us. And as always, give us feedback. We love feedback and we implement them, even if there are things like making this thing non-floating, which I don't know why you would want that, but if you like it, here you go. Thank you.